Ladies, let me ask you something honestly. Have you ever tried so hard to stop thinking about someone, but your mind keeps going back to him anyway? You tell yourself you're fine. You keep yourself busy. You focus on work, friends, family, your daily routine. But then suddenly, in the quiet moments, he appears again in your thoughts. Maybe it's early in the morning when you just wake up. Maybe it's late at night when everything becomes silent. Maybe it's when you hear a certain song, pass a certain place, or see something that reminds you of him. And then you catch yourself thinking, why can't I stop thinking about him? You might even get frustrated with yourself. You might say things like, I thought I moved on. I thought I healed. Why is he still on my mind? And sometimes that thought feels confusing, because maybe he's not even in your life anymore. Maybe you haven't spoken in weeks or months. Maybe he moved on. Maybe you tried to, but somehow your mind keeps returning to him like a magnet pulling your thoughts back. Now here's something most people never talk about. When someone stays on your mind repeatedly, it doesn't always mean you're weak, and it doesn't always mean you're obsessed. Sometimes, it means there is something deeper happening inside your heart. Something emotional. Something psychological. Sometimes even something spiritual. And today, we're going to talk about something many people quietly experience but rarely understand. Because when a woman keeps thinking about one man again and again, three very powerful things often start happening inside her life and inside that connection. Not everything we feel is random. Sometimes our emotions are trying to teach us something. So let's talk about it. First, your mind is trying to process something that was never fully resolved. The first thing you need to understand is this. When someone keeps appearing in your thoughts, it's often because your mind is still processing the experience you had with them. Our brains don't like unfinished emotional stories. Think about it. When a relationship ends suddenly, when someone disappears without closure, when things end without clear answers, your mind keeps replaying it. You start remembering conversations, moments, things he said, things you wish you had said. Your brain tries to make sense of the situation over and over again. It's like your mind is flipping through the pages of a book, trying to understand how the story ended. This is actually a very human response. It doesn't mean you're weak. It means your heart experienced something real. When someone touched your life deeply, your mind doesn't just erase them overnight. Instead, your brain slowly processes the emotions. Sometimes that takes time. Sometimes longer than we expect. And that's okay. Healing doesn't always happen in a straight line. Some days you feel strong. Some days the memories return. But every time you process those thoughts, your mind is quietly helping you move forward. That person became emotionally significant in your life. Here's something many people don't realize. You don't think about everyone. You don't replay every conversation you've ever had with people. But when someone becomes emotionally significant to you, your brain stores them differently. They become part of your emotional memory. Maybe he made you feel seen. Maybe he understood you in ways others didn't. Maybe you imagined a future together. Or maybe he simply came into your life during a time when you needed connection the most. And because of that, your brain linked him with strong emotions. Excitement, comfort, vulnerability. When emotions are strong, memories become stronger too. That's why certain people stay in our thoughts longer than others. Not because we want them there, but because they were meaningful. But here's the important part. Just because someone was meaningful in your life, doesn't always mean they were meant to stay forever. Some people come into our lives to teach us something. Some come to awaken something inside us. Some come to show us what we deserve, or what we should never accept again. And sometimes the memory of them stays because the lesson is still settling inside you. Your heart is learning something important about love. Now this might be the most important thing of all. When you keep thinking about someone, it often reveals something about your own emotional journey. Maybe your heart is learning about boundaries. Maybe it's learning about self-worth. Maybe it's learning about letting go. Or maybe it's learning that love cannot be forced. Sometimes we meet someone who reflects parts of ourselves back to us. They mirror our hopes, our fears, our insecurities, our dreams. And when that connection ends, We don't just lose the person. We also begin discovering parts of ourselves we didn't fully understand before. Maybe you realize you deserve more effort. Maybe you realize you were giving too much without receiving enough. Maybe you realize you were loving someone who wasn't ready to love you back the same way. Those realizations can take time. And during that time, your thoughts might still circle around that person. But slowly, something begins to change. Instead of pain, there is understanding. Instead of confusion, there is clarity. Instead of longing, there is peace. And that's when you know you're growing. So what should you do when he appears in your thoughts? Now let's talk about something practical. Because fighting your thoughts rarely works. The more you try to force yourself not to think about someone, the more your mind brings them back. Instead of resisting the thought, try something different. When he crosses your mind, just pause for a moment. Take a breath. And acknowledge the memory without judging yourself. You might silently say something like, "I appreciate the experience we shared. I release the past and allow myself to move forward. I wish him well and I wish peace for myself." This simple shift changes everything. Instead of holding on to emotional tension, you allow the memory to pass gently. Over time, the thoughts become softer. They appear less often. And eventually, they lose their emotional weight. One day you'll remember him, but it won't hurt anymore. You'll simply recognize that he was part of your story. Not the whole story. Just one chapter. If someone keeps appearing in your mind, don't immediately assume something is wrong with you. You're human. Human hearts remember. Human hearts feel deeply. And sometimes those feelings stay longer than we expect. But remember this. The goal isn't to erase people from your memory. The goal is to grow beyond the pain while keeping the wisdom. Every relationship teaches us something. Every connection shapes us. And every ending prepares us for something new. One day, you'll look back and realize that the person you couldn't stop thinking about was simply someone who helped guide you toward becoming a stronger, wiser version of yourself. So be patient with your healing. Be gentle with your heart. And trust that the right people, the ones truly meant to stay, will never leave you questioning your place in their life.